many of you here are for the death penalty? How many of you here are against the death penalty?
I am.
Do I have anyone in here that does not have a stand on the death penalty?
I'm against it.
Okay. Now, what if I asked you how many of you are for the death penalty if it involved juveniles? Would you be for the death penalty if it involved your child? Do me a favor and hold on to that thought. We will get back to the questions later. In addition to this public speaking class, I am taking a criminal justice class. This week's discussion in my class consisted of sentencing of inmates, which includes the death penalty. As I was doing my classwork for my criminal justice class, I felt as if doing my speech on this topic would suffice. But the twist came when I chose to present my topic about juveniles trialed as an adult, including the death penalty. Many people know that I firmly believe the kids are our future. This topic was perfect for me to research and present. Today, I will explain how within their surroundings, kids act on what they know. And if given a second chance through rehabilitation and new surroundings, they can also be untaught and change for the better. I'm about to tell you about a 14-year-old boy named Cody Posey, who when finally got tired of the same cycle, resorted to all he knew: violence. Cody Posey lived with his father, stepmother, and stepsister in a small town in New Mexico. Growing up, Cody was always abused and mistreated by his father. Almost everyone in the town knew, whether it be hittings with a shovel, hooks, rocks, fists, or verbally. In addition to the physical and mental abuse, Cody was also involved in sexual abuse with his stepmother and his stepsister, and this was ordered by his father. Cody was not only abused and mistreated, he was also lonely. He didn't hang out with friends or have other family members to go to. His mother was far away in another state, so she was never around. It was strictly school and home for Cody. Now, I have shared with you that what Cody has been through. Before I move on to tell you what he did to his family, can any of you share with us how you would feel if you were Cody? What would you do if you were in his shoes?
I would feel isolated. I would feel hurt. I would possibly feel suicidal, not knowing what suicidal meant at that time, but I would feel that way. I would want to escape, look for a better life and future, and find my mother, my real mother.
Okay. Well, to sum things up, Cody Posey killed all 3 of his family members. His breaking point was the night before the shooting, when his father burned him with a metal welding rod because he refused to have intercourse with his stepmother. So that next day, Cody got his sister's gun that she used for shooting snakes, went in the house, shot the stepmother. Then as his father and stepsister came running in the house, he shot his father and then shot his stepsister. He then dragged them all to the backyard and buried them. It wasn't until days later when Cody's father's boss came to the house, found blood in the house, and then later discovered the bodies. So let's recap on what we've learned so far. We now know just the surface of all that what Cody's been through while he was growing up. We also know how he reacted after all of those years of being mistreated and abused by his family. Before I tell you what his punishment was, I want one of you to tell me if you think Cody would be deserving of the death penalty for the murder of his 3 family members.
No, I don't think so. He was mentally and psychologically out, not in his character, not in his right mind.
His innocence was taken away long before he did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So Cody was convicted with 1st-degree murder, 2nd-degree murder, and voluntary manslaughter. The problem then arose whether to try him as an adult or a juvenile. If Cody Posey would have been tried as an adult, in many cases, the death penalty would have been the first option given to him. And if he were tried as a juvenile, he would only have to serve 7 years in jail. Do any of you think he deserves to be tried as an adult for protecting himself from the horrors of his family?
No.
Now, this is where the courts in New Mexico took on the great responsibility of recognizing that the kids are our future. Instead of sentencing him as an adult, they sentenced him as a juvenile. They realized that sentencing him as an adult, which could have resulted in the death penalty, was cruel and unusual punishment. Years go by, Cody's released. He's 21 now. He spent his time in a facility where he received psychiatric treatment. After his release, he moved to a halfway house. He showed there that he maintained all the signs of rehabilitation. This is a good thing. A woman from the facility spoke on his behalf and said that all of the indicators that he will be a successful and contributing adult. The New Mexico court realized that Cody still had room for change and growth and a positive outcome. They gave Cody a second chance instead of locking him up and throwing away the key, as Mitchell, Cody Posey's former attorney, would explain. Cody Posey showed us that his violent surroundings made him into a violent young boy. After he was given a second chance with rehabilitation and new surroundings, he showed us that his past can be untaught and he can change for the better. To conclude my speech, I want all of us to think about the fourth life that could have been ended in the Posey family if Cody was tried as an adult and if he were given the death penalty. Cody Posey was one of the lucky ones. Within the past 4 centuries, there is a record of at least 281 juveniles given the death penalty in the United States. That's almost 300 kids who didn't get the second chance they deserved. That's almost 300 kids who were just simply taught wrong. Almost 300 kids who were punished because they were a product of their environment. That's almost 300 kids who weren't thought of as our future. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions?
What is Cody doing today?
Today, he's being a regular person in the community, you know, going to work, still living. He's not up to anything bad. I can definitely say that.
How old is he now?
This was back, so 2010, he was 21.
So he's 30 now.
So he's 30 now.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have family of his own? Do you know?
I don't know if he has family of his own. I don't know if he connected back with his mom either.
He was born in 89.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Props up to Cody for rehabilitating his life
Right.
and getting the treatment he needed and deserved.
But he went through
A lot.
terrible.
Yes. That's sad. Shouldn't no kid have to go through all that? From his
Okay.
stepmom, his sister, and his dad?
Yeah.
We get to talk about this.
Thanks.